Hello everyone, this is Ashutosh Raut and I'm starting with the AWS CCP course. So I have recently given AWS CCP examination and I have passed it with 882 marks. So in order to pass this exam, we will need 700 marks. Yeah, so I got 82 marks and I'm going to provide you my notes here. So these are the notes that I have referred, and we are going to make videos on this. So I will divide it in parts so it will not be lengthy for you as well, and I will recommend you to take notes or screenshot of these notes and revise them. I hope there won't be major changes from now and the day you are watching video. So just always remember to go through the official documentation and the syllabus provided by AWS. So currently there are 4 modules and percentage of examination you can see. So I have also divided the same in the notes. So I won't be able to provide you this copy of these notes as I don't have that much subscribers to, so and I'm not able to put the link in the description, so as of now. So in future definitely if I will be able to, I will definitely provide the link of this uh, document. So let's get started with this first domain, cloud concepts. We have 28% of weightage in the CCP examination. So these pointers 1.1, 1.2 I have copy pasted from the AWS official syllabus. So you can also refer syllabus. So first of all is the benefits of AWS. This is very important. I have seen several questions on this point. You'll feel like this is so easy or so simple, just 6-7 points, but it is very important and you will definitely going to find questions on this. So we have uh, as a part of benefits of AWS. So first is trade upfront or capital expense for variable expense. So in case of traditional systems, we need to purchase hardware itself, and that will be our upfront cost and capital expense. So instead of this capital expense, where we will create the resources as per our requirement in the AWS cloud, and we will pay as we go. Then we have stopped spending money to maintain data centers. We don't need to run data centers. Okay, it is run by AWS. Then stop guessing the capacity. It's nothing but still elasticity. So as per our capacity, we can expand our resources and delete them as per our requirements. Benefits from massive economies of scale. So as AWS will grow, definitely its customer base is going to increase and they will definitely reduce prices as they will grow. Increased speed and agility. So agility is also kind of speed you can say. So increased speed and agility, and go global in minutes. In minutes you can deploy your application globally. Next we have is 6 application migration strategies. It's not that important as benefits of AWS, but better to read this. So the 6 are, so first is rehosting. It's nothing but lift and shift, lifting your application from the traditional and shifting it to AWS or some another service of AWS. Replatforming. So replatforming is nothing but lift, tinker and shift with few cloud optimizations. Then repurchasing. So repurchasing is nothing but moving to a different product, and it's nothing but example is given, moving CRM to salesforce.com. Then we have refactoring or re-architecting, where we have reimagining how the application is architected or developed typically using the cloud native features. So we are reimagining here. Retire means get rid of. We are like throwing or not using the whole application that we used to use, so as a part of our existing service. This is retire. And retain, so retain means revisit or do nothing for now. So this is, they're not so important, but yeah, I mean, better to read. The next is aspects of AWS cloud economics. I didn't find anything that I can put under this point, so this is there in syllabus. Then 1.3 is cloud architecture design principles. It is very important, very important. We'll definitely going to see like several questions on this point. So we have 6 pillars as a part of well architected framework. So first one is the operational excellence. So operational excellence is the ability to run and monitor systems to deliver business value and to continuously improve supporting process and procedures. Now the definition is, I mean, fine, you can read it. The most important part here is design principles. So you'll find questions stating like below are the mentioned design principles for operational excellence, and we need to select which of them are correct. So we have operation as a code, then annotating documentation, anticipating failures, frequently making small and reversible changes. So these bolded ones are something I have observed as a part of my actual exam as well, and practice exams as well. So these are important. The next comes is security. So security pillar is ability to protect information, systems and assets while delivering business value through risk assessment and mitigation strategies. I know it's difficult to remember the whole definition, but no need to worry, the questions will be MCQ. So if you read as well, then also it is fine. So when we consider the security for our architecture, we need to apply these best practices. Automate security based practices when possible, then apply security at all layers and protect data in transit and rest. This is important. This I have seen in one of the questions. The next is reliability. Reliability is nothing but consistently perform intended function. So these are few AWS services: CloudWatch, Config and CloudTrail. So these 3 services are important from reliability pillar perspective. Those are basically help to achieve reliability in AWS, these 3 services. Reliability is the ability of a system to do the following. Now recover from infrastructure or service disruptions, dynamically acquire computing resources to meet demand, and mitigate disruptions such as misconfiguration or transit network issue. So reliability includes testing recovery procedures. This is important. Scaling horizontally and automatically recovering from failures. This is also important. These 2 points, as I said, for operational excellence, these highlighted ones, this the same applies for this one, testing recovery procedures and this. The next comes is performance efficiency. So performance efficiency is the ability to use computing resources efficiently to meet system requirements and to maintain that efficiency as demand changes and technology evolve. Evaluating the performance efficiency of your architecture includes experimenting more often, using serverless architecture and designing systems to be able to go global in minutes. On this I have not seen many questions, so you can better have read. Cost optimization. Cost optimization is also, I have not seen much questions, but yeah, cost optimization, ability to run systems to deliver business value at lowest price point. Cost optimization include adopting consumption model, analyzing attributing expenditure and using managed service to reduce the cost of ownership. Then the last one is sustainability. Sustainability also I have noticed in several questions. So sustainability is what? Understand your impact, establish sustainability goals, maximize utilization. This is anticipate and adopt new, more efficient hardware and software offerings, use managed services, and reduce the downstream impact of your cloud workload. That's all we have as a part of domain 1. Then domain 2, security and compliance. So first one is AWS shared responsibility model. It is very important. You'll definitely find a few questions on this. So, and those questions will be very easy. Like what is the responsibility of the customer and what will be what is the responsibility of AWS. There won't be direct questions as such. There will be scenarios, and we need to give explanation, or I mean the answer, that whether this is the responsibility of customer or AWS. So customer is responsible for security in the cloud, and AWS is responsible for security of the cloud. So for example, we have a AWS EC2 instance. Okay, so our EC2 instance is infrastructure as a service, and for that the operating system is responsibility of the customer. But for other platform as a services, the operating system is responsibility of AWS. So there will be few tricky questions where if they say that maintaining operating system is responsibility of whom, then we cannot directly say customer or AWS, because in general it is responsibility of both. And if we think specifically about EC2, then it is responsibility of customer. So that way you just need to take care about the tricky questions. So customer is responsible for customer data, platform application, IAM, identity and access management. This is also very important service, identity and access management. This we will see afterwards. Their operating system, see here we have operating system, but AWS is also responsible for platform as a service or other services other than EC2 or infrastructure as a service. Okay, then client side data encryption, right? Server side data encryption. Customer is responsible for both server side and client side data encryption. And yeah, that's all we have. You can take a read, and just while practicing I will be able to understand the responsibility model. Then the next is 2.2, AWS cloud security compliance concepts. So here we have syllabus from the AWS, and then the services. So AWS KMS is key management service, which is used to encrypt data at rest and data in transit. It is a software. The next is cloud HCM, hardware security module. It is AWS provided encryption hardware. The next is type of CMK, customer master keys. We have customer managed CMK, which is managed by customer. I have not seen much questions on this, but better to as it is a part of syllabus, so we can take a look. So the next is AWS managed CMK. It is created and managed by AWS. And the next is AWS own CMK. It is owned by it is owned by AWS. So the main key difference between AWS managed and AWS own CMK is in AWS own CMK we cannot view the keys. That's what the difference. The next is cloud HCM keys. So these keys are generated from your own cloud HCM hardware device. Cryptographic operations are performed within the cloud HCM cluster. That's what we have. The next is AWS Certificate Manager. Now it is used to provision, manage and deploy SSL and TLS certificates, used to provide in-flight encryption for websites. It supports both public and private TLS certificates. It is free of charge for public TLS certificates, and it automatic TLS certificate renewal. You can see a picture of AWS ACM. The next is secrets manager. It is paid service. I have not seen many questions on these two. Okay, so just to let you know. So the secrets manager is paid service. So it has capability to force rotation of secrets every X day. So let's say you have AWS. I mean, you are the, let's say, administrator, and you want your users to change password every X days. So that can be done using this service. Automate generation of secrets, then integration with RDS. uh, Secrets are encrypted using KMS. So that's all the features. Then we have event bridge, previously known as CloudWatch events. So we can schedule cron jobs. Then we have event pattern, so event rules to react to a service doing something. Okay, then we have auditing, reporting and monitoring. So uh, so for auditing, reporting and monitoring, we have three AWS services, which are CloudWatch, Config and CloudTrail. And these are reliability pillars we have seen earlier in the reliability pillars. So these are reliability pillars. I have seen one question on this, like which of the below mentioned are reliability pillars. So that's why I have included the next CloudWatch. Okay, so what is CloudWatch? CloudWatch is nothing but performance monitoring tool that receives metrics from AWS services. This data can be used for monitoring the operational health of resources, um, as well as being used to optimize the costs. Okay, so and it also ensures right sized, that systems are right sized and just enough capacity is provisioned. Okay, now it receives metrics from all the AWS services, not all, but most of the AWS services, and it analyzes those metrics and decide whether the systems are right sized, how is the operational health, and everything. Uh, I mean, not everything, whatever is mentioned. So, what are the important metrics? So, not seen question on this, but better to read. EC2 instances. So it gets matrix, as a part of matrix it gets CPU utilization, status checks, network. Okay, then we have EBS volumes. So from EBS volumes, as a part of matrix it gets discretes and writes. Then S3 buckets, it gets bucket size bytes, number of objects, all requests. And then billing, it gets what is total estimated charge only in US East one. Don't need to remember these minute details, but yeah. Service limits, how much you have been using service API. Custom metrics, you can push your own custom metrics. So if you want any specific metrics as well along with the default ones, you can customize. The most important feature of CloudWatch is CloudWatch alarms, and alarms are used to trigger notification for any metrics. So what alarm actions can do? So it will do auto scaling. It can do stop, terminate, reboot, recover an EC2 instance. Then it can send notification. Right. So these are alarm actions. Then various options, sampling, percentage, max, min, etc. These are various options as a part of CloudWatch alarms. Then can choose the period on which to evaluate an alarm. Then example, creating a billing alarm on CloudWatch billing metric. So let's say you are having CloudWatch billing metric and you want to create an alarm on this. So you can create like let's say if billing exceeds 75% of what you provide, then you will get an alarm saying that the usage exceeded by 75%, something like that. Then alarm statuses are okay, insufficient data, and alarm. Then we have CloudWatch logs. So CloudWatch logs can be collected from Elastic Beanstalk, ECS is Elastic Container Services, AWS Lambda, and Route 53. CloudWatch logs for EC2. So as I said, It is not for all the services. So for EC2, by default no logs from your EC2 instance will go to CloudWatch, but you need to run CloudWatch agent on EC2 to push the log files, and then make sure IAM permissions are correct, and then the CloudWatch log agent can be set up on premises too. So these are for EC2, and we can this set up the CloudWatch log agent on our systems as well, like on premises. Then there comes AWS configs. It keeps track of all the changes, architectural and configuration of your resources, and it can send notifications by using the Amazon SNS. SNS is simple notification service used to send notifications. So you can see if any configuration change occurs in your AWS resource, then it will go to AWS config. Config will record and normalize the change, and it evaluates the recorded configuration against the configurations you specify, and depending on the result it will do one of these or all of these, whatever you will specify. The next is AWS CloudTrail. So CloudTrail is also very important. You will find questions on this CloudTrail as well. So it ensures if our AWS account activity meets the governance, compliance and auditing norms. So account activity is important here. It tracks account activity. It provides governance, compliance and audit for your AWS account. It tracks user activity. See, activity is important, user activity, and if it detects unusual API usage, CloudTrail is enabled by default, and it tracks the activity of users, again activity on AWS. If a resource is deleted from the AWS, then you can investigate in CloudTrail first who deleted the resource. Then there comes X-Ray. So X-Ray is used to debug performance issues. Okay, performance issues. So one liners are only sufficient for like we have lot of services, so what that service does is very important. Then we have AWS Code Guru. So Code Guru is nothing but ML powered service for automated code reviews and application performance recommendations. Code Guru, we have Code Guru Reviewer and Code Guru Performer. Okay, so Reviewer is nothing but automated code reviews for static code analysis, and Profiler is for during the runtime. The next is Service Health Dashboard. So Service Health Dashboard is nothing but one dashboard. You'll be having one screen, and on that you'll find all the AWS services and what is their status. So it is used to subscribe to RSS feed. I don't know what is RSS feed, but yeah, if you find RSS feed in the question, then that must be related to Service Health Dashboard. As I said, the status of all AWS service interruptions that you can find on this dashboard. Then we have AWS Personal Health Dashboard. So it provides alerts and remediation guidance when AWS is experiencing events that may impact you. This is also a line picked up from one question itself. While the Service Health Dashboard displays general status of AWS services, Personal Health Dashboard gives you personalized view into the performance and availability of AWS services underlying your AWS resources. So we can customize this health dashboard. The next is 2.3, identify AWS access management capabilities. This is very important. This I have copy pasted from the syllabus. So next is this IAM, identity access management, very important from exam perspective. So IAM is nothing but a global service, and under this IAM we will be having users, and users can be grouped, but one user can belong to multiple groups, and groups cannot be grouped. I mean, if we have users, okay, and we group them and into, let's say, one group, so again we cannot use that group A to create another group. So that's what it's mean by groups cannot contain other groups. So IAM permissions. So permissions, we have JSON document that is nothing but policy, we can say, and this policy we attach to IAM role or IAM user. Okay, So these policies define the permissions of the users. In AWS, you apply least privilege principle, means provide just what is necessary. We have policy structure. So as a part of policy structure, we have version, ID, statement, and under statement we have statement ID, which is optional. Then we have effect, allow or deny. We have principal. So as a part of principal, we'll be having account, user, role, to which this policy applied to. Then as a part of action, we'll be having list of actions that this policy allows or denies, and resource, so list of resources to which the action applied to. Okay, the next is multi-factor authentication. So multi-factor authentication is nothing but the password you know plus security device you own. So at the time of login, you'll put your password, then press enter, then the security key from your device, the hardware device, then you will be able to log in. So it ensures more security, and that's why multi-factor authentication. Then we have IAM rules for services. So some AWS services will need to perform actions on your behalf. So to do so, we will assign permissions to those AWS services. We will assign IAM roles basically. So let's say we have EC2 instance, so we will assign one IAM role to that EC2 instance, so that EC2 instance automatically will able to access any service. If like lambda function, if EC2 instance wants to access, and if we allow it using IAM role, then it will definitely be able to access that service. Rules for cloud formation. Then we have IAM security tools. So as a part of this, we have IAM credential report and IAM access advisor. So IAM credentials report is account level. This is the report that lists all your accounts users and status of their various credentials. IAM access advisor. So access advisor shows the service permissions granted to a user and when those services were last accessed. Now this is root user privileges, and to provide to do some tasks, we need root user access. And what are those tasks? Like changing account settings, viewing certain tax invoices, closing your AWS account. So few of these I have observed, questions on this. So restore IAM permissions, change or cancel your AWS support plan. This is also I have like seen in one question. Then register as a seller, configure S3 bucket, edit or delete S3 bucket policy, and sign up for government cloud. So I think this is the last one for domain 2. Let's keep the part 1 till 2.4. So let me quickly cover 2.4. So 2.4 is security support. So under security groups, like security group contains only allow rules, and security rules can be referenced by IP or by a security group. Security groups are acting as a virtual firewall on EC2 instance level, and so these are good to know points. Security group can be attached to multiple instances. We can lock down to a region VPC combination. Then it's good to maintain one separate security group for SSH access. Now all inbound traffic is blocked by default for a security group, and all outbound traffic is authorized by default. And network ACL, so network ACL is also a firewall which contains traffic from and to the subnet. So network ACL is at subnet level, security group is EC2 instance level. It can contain both allow and deny rules, but the security group contain only allow rules. And network ACL rules only include IP addresses. The next we have is AWS WAF, Web Application Firewall. So it protects your web applications from common web exploits, layer 7 HTTP. Deploy on application load balancer. We can deploy this WAF on application load balancer, API gateway and CloudFront. And define web ACL, web access control list. So rules can include IP addresses, HTTP headers, HTTP body or URL strings. Protects from common attack. So WAF protects from SQL injection and cross-site scripting. Came across one question, so highlighting this RAID based rules. The next is Shield. uh, so AWS Shield is the service which provides DDoS protection. So we have standard and advanced. So standard is free, and by default we get this service or protection. Now it provides protection from attacks such as SIN, UDP floods, reflection attacks, and other layer 3 layer 4 attacks. It has expanded DDoS attack protection. The advanced one has expanded DDoS attack protection for EC2, load balancer, CloudFront, global accelerator, and Route 53. Now I observed one question on this, so you have to remember these: EC2, load balancer, the list of services where this we get expanded protection of AWS Shield Advanced, and along with this we also get 24/7 access to AWS DDoS response team. The next is guard duty. So for guard duty is nothing but intelligent threat protection. So this line itself, sufficient if you remember this. Then we have inspector, which is running timely assessments and checking OS vulnerabilities. Now this is only for these services, but no need to remember. I haven't came across any question on this, so yeah. Mackie. So Mackie is data security and data privacy service, which is used to protect your sensitive data in the AWS. So the keywords you can remember: sensitive data, privacy service belongs to Mackie. And then detective, Amazon Detective analyzes and investigates and quickly identifies root cause of security issues or suspicious activities using MLM graphs. The next is abuse. So report suspected AWS resources used for abusive or illegal purposes and prohibited behaviors. Abusive behaviors, prohibited behaviors. Then next we have AWS Security Hub. So Security Hub, the image itself shows that these are the services that we have seen, and these services are like throwing some metric to AWS Security Hub, and then Security Hub will again provide some kind of information, we can say, to CloudWatch, and based on that metrics or logs, CloudWatch will take some actions. So this is how the flow is. The next is penetration testing on AWS cloud. So the most important part about this testing is we can do this without prior approval for 8 services. So I have seen question stating which testing you can do without prior approval. So this is penetration testing. And the next is AWS Artifact. This is not really a service, but yeah, is a portal that provides customer with on-demand access to compliance documentation and AWS agreements. The next we have is AWS Trusted Advisor. It is also important, so it helps to analyze your infrastructure to identify unattached or underutilized EBS volumes. The next is it helps to optimize your AWS infrastructure, improve security and performance, and reduce your overall cost and monitor service limits. So that's about AWS Trusted Advisor. Next is APN consulting partners and APN technology partners. Now consulting partners, they can help on migration, build, design and manage workloads. And APN technology partners, they can help you on hardware, software or connectivity related issues. The next is Concierge support team, and it only available for enterprise support plan. So there are support plans basically, so we'll see that as well. So for now you can remember that these are billing and account experts, but available only for enterprise support plan. And AWS abuse team. So this team can assist you when AWS resources are used to engage in abusive behavior. So domain 3 will cover as as a separate video, part 2 maybe. So thank you for now. Please support, like, share and subscribe. Thank you everyone.